Hey everybody, my name's Riley Dabbling. I've been an upland bird hunter and trapper for over 20 years now. Teaming up with Final Rise on this YouTube series on how to recognize traps in the field, whether footholds, snares, body grips, how to remove your dog safely and enjoy your time in the field. So what we have here is a snare. Snares are used for bobcats, coyotes, fox. They're mostly used on trail sets where an animal is going to be working through an area. They're made up of cable. They have a slide lock on them, which is a one-way slide lock, so that when that animal pulls on that snare and that loop tightens, the snare can't go back the other direction. You're gonna find these on a lot of like trail sets where animals are working different areas, coming in and out of the brush, going, travel ways. So you're gonna wanna keep an eye out for those, especially if it's an area where a trail maybe has a choke point, because that's gonna funnel those animals through that point to where they're gonna most likely run into this snare. Okay guys, so this is a Conibear trap or a kill trap. Every state's different. Every state has different regulations. Some states, these are not allowed to be used on dry land. They can only be set in waterways where a portion of the trap does have to be buried in the water for beaver, mink, otters. These are used, however, on dry land in some states too. These are permitted for mink, marten, fisher. These will mostly be set in trees or on tree trunks inside of a box that has bait. Unfortunately, with the name that goes along with these are a kill type trap. If your dog unfortunately does get caught in one of these, number one, your time is limited, and number two, there's a good chance your dog might not survive or be recoverable from a trap like this. Okay, next up we have, these are foothold traps. As you can see, we have different sizes, even different configurations. This is what's called a lever trap or a coil trap. So all your power is in these coils here, as compared to the old school trap, which is what I think a lot of people think of is these are long springs. This is where your power comes from, is on these long springs. Again, these are a foothold trap. These are designed to be set at a bait site where an animal is going to come up, smell an attractant, and they're going to step on that pan to get their foot caught in that trap to hold them there until the trapper comes along to take care of the animal. All right, everybody. I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of, still misconception out there that these are the kind of traps that trappers are using. What this is an old vintage grizzly bear trap. Obviously, these are no longer legal. People that have these, like myself, these are for decorations, these are for holding on to. Traps like this are illegal. You will not be encountering these in the field. Number one, this size, or number two, this configuration. As you can see on these jaws, the teeth that are on here, these are designed for holding a big animal in place to where, like I said, you have a huge logging chain on this. These are bear traps. And like I said, this is not what we're using anymore. This is absolutely not what you're gonna encounter, but I just thought I would show it to you guys. Okay guys, so these are our snares. Like I said, these are gonna be used mostly for like your coyotes, fox, bobcat, even to a point beaver will be used with these too on water sets. These are gonna be set in trail systems. So anywhere where you have a choke point, where you know animals are moving through, these are gonna be hung by the trapper with that loop about the height of where that animal is gonna be running through to get their head caught in that snare. Okay guys, so if you're up chucker hunting, even grouse hunting in the forest, if you come across a best way to recognize maybe where a snare might be in the area, we have a white feather, even an old CD. So basically I use these for cat attractants. Bobcats, mountain lions, they see anything flashing, turning in the wind, they're just like your house cat. They're gonna come over and investigate, see what's going on. And at that point, they're either gonna come through that trail system to get caught in that snare, or they're gonna come up to where you have your bait or your attractant to get caught in a foothold trap. So what we have here, coil trap. Tell by the coils right here, this is not a long spring trap. This size right here, this is a fox or coyote size trap. You can catch raccoons in these as well too. Where to look for these best is if you're hunting a field, say you're out pheasant hunting, and you come to a corner section where you have a fence line, and maybe the farmer's dirt road. These are going to be set mostly on corner sections and stuff where you're going to be having travel corridors. Basically what a trapper's trying to do at any point in time is he's trying to guess where that predator or his target species is moving through that area to get this trap close to where he can set up either a blind trail set with one of these traps, or he'll have a hole in the ground with some scent, with some attractant. So anytime you come to a corner or an intersection or anything like that, just be mindful that's an area where you might encounter some traps. Okay guys, like I showed earlier, double long spring trap here. Best place to be looking for these is water sets. These aren't necessarily used a lot nowadays. I still use them a lot. I like the nostalgia of them. I think they still have a place. You will encounter these, like I said, mostly in a lot of water sets, whether it be beaver dam crossing, any kind of like step through set where you might have a bunch of logs going across a trail. So basically if you come down a trail and you have just some deadfall that's going across it, say you're up in the forest, you're grouse hunting, that's a perfect spot for a trapper to put a trap for the fact that that animal that he's targeting has to step over that log just like you do, just like your dog does, and it basically forces that animal to step within the vicinity of where they want them to put that paw on that pan to spring that trap. Okay, so that should give you guys an overview on what kind of traps trappers are going to be using out there. In the next episode, we're going to go through on how to operate these traps, how to open them, and how to maybe remove your dog's paw or even get a snare from around their neck.